Hey, what's up, everybody? It's just Charles Subban, and welcome you guys to another episode of the DREAMERSPRO show, where we cover everything from sports, hot topics, classic debates, entertainment, and we'll give you guys a fresh perspective on things and how we see them. And today we got an excellent show for you guys. Before we get into it, please make sure you like the video and sub to the channel. So, yesterday was a crazy day on ESPN First Take, right? It was a pretty crazy day because they were arguing something which was essentially based on a record that Alex Ovechkin broke that Wayne Gretzky used to hold, the NHL hockey player. So they brought this topic to the table, and given the fact that they were discussing the NFL, they then decided to bring on PK Subban. And PK Subban, I hope I'm getting his last name right, he caused some controversy the last time he was on ESPN First Take. Hell, the last time I saw him on Get Up and ESPN First Take, because he was essentially talking about the state of affairs of the NBA. And I think it was in the aftermath of the All-Star game, the All-Star weekend. I could be wrong. I don't remember exactly when, but it was something about that. And he was just talking about the state of affairs of the NBA. He gave Jordan and Kobe a lot of credit. I guess some people or ESPN viewers felt like he didn't give LeBron James enough credit or whatever it was. But his comments, sparked a debate across the sports world. And a lot of NBA players started to weigh in on what he said, and a lot of them took exception with what he said. And a lot of them were saying that, look, a lot of what this guy is saying is true. However, you don't have a right to speak on our sport. Focus on your sport. Now, I want to quickly call BS on that, right? I want to call BS on that. I think it has nothing to do with a hockey player talking about the sport of basketball. I just think it's that they didn't like him, right? I think PK Subban might be a Canadian, if I'm not mistaken. I think he's from Canada. Let me see. When I searched him this morning, yeah, he's a Canadian, right? And I just think that, given the fact that he's a Canadian, they didn't like an outsider, let's say, talking about the issues going on in the NBA. It has nothing to do with him not being a basketball player. Do you know why I know this? Because you have NFL players like Shannon Sharpe to talk about basketball. I don't see nobody complaining. You have guys like the guy that used to work at ESPN, then did the show with Skip Bayless, and Paul Pierce. I just can't remember his name right now. His face, I can think of his face, but I can't remember his name. Y'all know him. I just can't remember his name. NFL players talk all the time about basketball. Look at the facility. LaShawn McCoy and all of these guys talk. In fact, all those guys are football players. They all talk about basketball. So I don't hear anybody coming out on the internet talking about, well, you don't have a right to speak on our sport. Nah, I just think that if we're keeping it a buck, I think it was like, nah, you're not part of the culture. You're not American or whatever. So you don't have a right to speak on it. But since they didn't want to say that, they were just like, no, you can't be an NHL player talking about basketball. We calling that out. Let's not cap. If it is if you feel a type of way, say exactly why you're saying it. Don't go around the corner and look for reasons not to say that, to say what you said. But anyway, so that happened. So yesterday, somehow, some way, ESPN found a way to weave in this topic that was supposed to be originally about Wayne Gretzky and Alex Ovechkin, and they now found a way to thread in LeBron James. And apparently Alex Ovechkin broke the record for the most goals, right? And they now were asking, which record is more impressive, Ovechkin or LeBron James? And I was reading through some of the comments, and people were like, how do you find a way to bring LeBron into this, right? So they start talking, and of course, Stephen A. Smith said it was LeBron. Of course, Shannon Sharpe said it was LeBron. But PK Subban took exception with them and said, what you guys are saying is essentially laughable. The fact that you're even comparing these two guys' longevity. And as he was talking, things started to get heated, but things really started heating up when he brought in Kobe Bryant into the debate, where he said, I have Kobe Bryant over LeBron James. And that's when Shannon Sharpe lost it. So for those of you who didn't hear that exchange, I want to play that for you now. And then want to come back and really get into the show. Take a listen to what these guys had to say to each other yesterday.
And LeBron, great feat. But I will say this. I think it's borderline insulting to think that the longevity of LeBron's career is even close to the comparison of what Alex Ovechkin has done over the past 20 seasons. For this and for this only. Number one, 82 games we play. Same amount of games as basketball. There is no way that anybody on this planet is going to convince me that LeBron James's body has been put through more rigorous, tumultuous, physicality, worn down, the grind of a hockey season. Guys, I mean, what are we talking about here? 20 seasons? He's only missed 35 games in those 20 seasons.
That's incredible.
1,487 games, 895 goals. The most feared hockey player, in my opinion, to ever lace up the skates is Alex Ovechkin. Why? Because he can impact the game offensively and physically. You got to pack a big lunch for this guy. LeBron James, great player. Great player. Great talent. He's done it all. But in the fear factor, there's no way that anybody fears LeBron James the way they do Alex Ovechkin because of the physicality in the sport. Hold on there. Hold on a second. Alex Ovechkin playing that hockey at 235, 240, 250, moving around the ice the way that he does, he could have hurt a lot more players in his time. This guy was feared by everyone, not just because he could put the puck in the net, because of the way he played the game in between the whistles. Not only that, one team. He didn't go to any other team. 20 seasons on one team. That means whoever the organization put in that lineup, he had to find ways, and he's doing it now. So you want to talk about towards the end of his career. Go look at the numbers. Go look at the amount of time that he's missed over the past 5 years. Go look at what LeBron's missed over the past 5 years. I'm just saying.
Let me ask you this. PK, on average, how many minutes does a hockey player play per game? So how many minutes would you say Ovi is playing per game?
Well, it's situational. For defensemen, they always play more minutes. But
I wish LeBron could play situational.
Hold on.
Let him finish.
I wish he could play situational.
Forwards in hockey have to do the most skating. So they may not play the most amount of minutes, but they're up and down. They're in on the forecheck. Go watch Ovi play. What you guys are seeing of him today, everybody wants to look at him now and say, oh, it's easy. That's a shell of who Ovi's been over the past 20 years.
You can't have it both ways, though.
Yeah.
What do you mean I can't have it both ways?
What I'm saying is you can't sit up there and marvel at the greatness of LeBron James along with the durability of a LeBron James and then bring up the fact that, Ovechkin played for the same team for 20 years, and as a result, that's hockey. A plus. Yeah. It's still hockey. Now, obviously, that category that you brought up is paramount if you're talking about winning, because obviously you got to adjust to new teammates, et cetera, et cetera. But if you're not a scorer, you're not a scorer. It's just that simple. So being a hockey player and being somebody, just because you play with one team, all right, and you have to make adjustments to new personnel, doesn't stop you from losing your ability to score. I'm looking at a LeBron James. Yeah, you went to 3 different teams, but he won with all 3 teams, okay? And the durability is scored with all 3. Consistently a career 27-point per game scorer, not to mention the fact that, again, while winning and scoring 27 points per game, the durability factor, he has been one of the most, if not the most durable athlete in modern NBA time.
Alex Ovechkin has been more durable. Alex Ovechkin has been more durable than LeBron James over his career. Go look at the numbers. Based on the simple fact of the sport that he's playing, we can't compare these two. I don't see the comparison. We're playing football on ice.
No, you never do.
Games.
You never do, PK.
Hold on, 82 games. Alex Ovechkin, 82 games, is getting hit, dishing out hits. LeBron's not taking those hits. He's not taking the same abuse, guys.
You make it seem like Ovi is an anomaly. Okay, Ovi is an anomaly. How many 6'9", 260-pound basketball players have you ever seen be able to handle the ball, do everything LeBron James has been able to do? Tell me the time. Name another basketball player that's comparable to LeBron James. I'll wait. Take your time.
Well, hold on. No one's talking about LeBron James not being special. He is special.
But you
if you want me to hold on,
230, 240.
Yeah. But I'm not saying that LeBron James isn't special. If we want to talk about greatness in basketball, that's a whole different conversation. I'll compare a bunch of other players.
The feet.
Yeah, but what I'm saying, LeBron's great, but he ain't Kobe, he ain't Jordan for me. So what I'm saying is, it's not about size. You want to talk about 6'9"? I'm talking about the
Jordan's fine. You can't say Kobe. You can't say Kobe.
Well, yeah, I did. I put Kobe ahead of him. Kobe's ahead of LeBron.
I've heard you say this. You base everything on mentality. Oh, they were at the end of the day. A black mamba gets his credit because it's the only snake that will attack you without provocation. But it's not as dangerous as a taipan. It's not as dangerous as a common brown. So what are we talking about here? John Wick kills a lot of people, but so did James Bond. So what are we doing if the job gets done?
Did you
well, hold on. Hold on. If we're measuring greatness, let's talk about that. Hold on, Shannon, let's talk about that. Because, Shannon, you've won, right? You've won. Let's measure greatness for a second. If we're measuring greatness, it's not just about the numbers. It's not just about the numbers and the impact on the court for me. For me, it's situational. It's also about the moments, rising to the moment and showing that you are capable of influencing fear into the other team. When I look at great players, that's what they all have the quality to do. I'm sorry. There's nobody in basketball other than Kobe and LeBron that has ever instilled fear in their opponents like those two guys.
Kobe and Jordan.
Kobe and Jordan, excuse me. That's why I have those two ahead of everyone. I'm just saying, that's my opinion.
Eastern Conference, when LeBron was in the Eastern Conference, did they fear him? Ask the teams for that 8-year span in which LeBron James went to every NBA Finals in the East, did they fear him?
So you heard the exchange between these guys yesterday. What are my thoughts about this? First of all, a lot of people sent me this clip, but I saw the clip, this back and forth before people sent it to me, and they actually ended up cutting it off immaturely towards the end, abruptly towards the end. What are my thoughts about this? I think that, look, ESPN is the LeBron James network. I've been saying this for the longest time. It just is what it is. ESPN is the LeBron James network. The Lakers network to a certain extent, but more a LeBron James network. There are a lot of LeBron guys on ESPN. And I think what happened was PK mentioning Kobe was a shock to the system of a lot of the people that work there. And one of those people that was shocked was Shannon Sharpe. So was Stephen A. Smith. We're going to get to him a little bit later. But especially with Shannon Sharpe. Like, for instance, when Shannon said, when he brought up Kobe, he was like, man, stop playing. Now, what you don't realize is that there are a lot of people out there that if you brought up LeBron in comparison to Michael Jordan, the same exact reaction that Shannon Sharpe had, those people would have the same reaction. But because these people are not given a voice at ESPN, you think that the opinion that Shannon Sharpe or maybe Stephen A. Smith had is the opinion that everybody else has, when in reality, that's not the case at all. The fact is, there are a lot of people that have Kobe over LeBron. A lot of people. A lot of people that are noteworthy. Former athletes, certain journalists, a lot of them. But because they don't have opportunities to gain employment at ESPN, and frankly, they may not be the people, the kind of people that ESPN are looking for. Whenever you have people like PK Subban who slip through the cracks and bring up people like Kobe Bryant on their network, all of a sudden it causes turmoil. And that's essentially what happened. It caused turmoil. They were talking about the standard, toughness, and PK said, no, I have those guys over LeBron. But a lot of people do for that same reason. Kobe Bryant was a warrior. He was a warrior. Kobe played through all kinds of injuries. Kobe is not known for flopping. LeBron is. Right? So there's a certain level of respect that those guys like PK Subban and others have for Kobe that they don't have for LeBron. And I think that what people like Shannon don't understand is that, yes, you revere LeBron immensely, but there are a lot of people that don't. You respect him immensely. There are a lot of people that don't. It's just that you seldom get these people to on these shows with you to challenge you. So whenever it happens, it creates this kind of chaos that really shouldn't be there, because if you get enough pushback frequently, then it won't be this shock to your system. It won't be a shock to your system. And I think that's essentially what took place there. ESPN will never give people like myself, well, they're not going to give me a job, and frankly, I never applied for a job at ESPN, but they would never give people like me a job. Why? Because I'm not going to twerk, number one. Number two, I have different views than some of the guys on there. So given the fact that I have different views, I'm not going to twerk. I'm not going to be up there tap dancing for them the way some of these guys, or a lot of these guys do, for ratings or whatever it is. I'm going to have a different opinion than what some of these guys, it's just not going to work. So you have to have a lot of people up there twerking it up to kind of keep the engine going, right? And I'm not going to do that. If you bring me up there, I'm going to talk about Kobe. I'm going to say, no, there's this guy. And then it's not going to work with the narratives that they have in place. And then therefore I could never work there. But you can get a lot of people that are pro LeBron guys that can come from the independent space and easily transition into the corporate space. And it works seamlessly because that's what they're looking for, right? It's clear, right? It's clear. So I think that's essentially what happened here. That's essentially what happened. Now, what I like is that PK didn't back down. And it's important that you don't back down because people need to know that there are other views out there, right? Now, still, ESPN is still a LeBron James network. They still promote him incredibly. But once in a while, it's okay to let people with different views, apart from the views that these guys have that twerk it up all day long, to be heard. These are my thoughts. Whatever you guys think, please leave your thoughts and comments in the comment section. We catch you on the next show. Peace.